In short, America's economic prosperity in the 21st century will depend on cybersecurity. And this is also a matter of public safety and national security. We count on computer networks to deliver our oil and gas, our power, and our water. We rely on them for public transportation and air traffic control. Yet we know that cyber intruders have probed our electrical grid, and that in other countries, cyber attacks have plunged entire cities into darkness.
Welcome to Team 17's presentation on the trends of cyber attacks on higher education institutions. Our team members are Mike Gilmore, Garrett Jackson, Zach Mastromato, Tanner Maluchnik, and Daniel Dantico. During the course of this presentation, we will explore statistics and trends relating to cybersecurity issues at universities and colleges around the country. Like President Obama said, cybersecurity is a widespread issue around the globe affecting billions of people every day. Cyber attacks have been posing a great threat to businesses in every industry because the incentive to steal valuable information through digital means is lucrative. It is a dynamic and complex field because technology has enabled people to branch out and find innovative ways to circumvent security and access important information. Since technology is an increasing field in the world, cyber attacks have been on the rise. This has caused new job positions, responsibilities, and opportunities for people to curb the attacks through cybersecurity.
There has been a significant spike in cyber attacks since 2005. As a result, business owners have been scrambling to recruit cybersecurity professionals for their companies. Since 2003, nearly $1 billion has been stolen from small family-run businesses and large corporations alike. It has become a very serious concern for every worker in every field, making cybersecurity an important and relevant concept as society moves forward. Before further analyzing cybersecurity, it is important to understand some simple definitions and concepts that are inherent in every cyber attack. The definition of cybersecurity is a protection of data and systems in networks that are connected to the internet. The definition of a cyber attack is an assault against a computer system or network. The definition of hacking is a person who breaks into computers, usually by gaining access to administrative controls. There are three different types of hackers. A black hat is an IT person who specializes in unauthorized penetration of computers to attack systems for profit, fun, or for political motivations. On the other hand, the white hat, or the hero or good guy, is a penetration tester and focuses on securing and protecting IT systems. A gray hat is a skilled hacker who sometimes acts illegally, sometimes in goodwill, and sometimes not. You also can be a hybrid between a white hat and a black hat. Finally, the definition of a firewall is the primary method for keeping a computer secure from intruders. It allows or blocks traffic into and out of a private network or the user's computer. To further understand cybersecurity, we have to visually see what an attack would look like in a complex IT system. This is the basic setup that most corporate networks use to secure their computers and servers. An attacker would manipulate the internet to attempt to breach a corporate firewall. The firewall is the most powerful cybersecurity instrument in a network and is its first line of defense. If someone were to break through it, they would have access to servers and workstations that run the network. Usually, corporations have separate firewalls for their administrative networks and their production networks. Since higher education institutions are businesses in themselves, they have very similar IT infrastructures as well. The production networks would be the IT labs and computer workstations that are found on campus.
Now we will look at the history of attacks on higher education. This is a graph showing the amount of successful cyber attacks on higher education institutions from 2000 to 2009, according to datalostdb.org. As you can see, it shows there were very few attacks from 2000 to 2004. However, the number skyrockets to 67 successful cyber attacks in 2005, an over 800% increase from 2004. The number continues to grow to 113 attacks in 2006, and then stays steady around 100 in 2007. There's another sharp increase in 2008 to 146 attacks, before a sharp decrease in 2009, down all the way to 86 attacks, the lowest number since 2005. Now this is a graph showing the trends and curves of the same data from datalostdb.org. The first inflection point occurs from 2004 to 2005, when the amount of attacks reported increased substantially from 8 attacks to 67 attacks. The rate continued fairly constantly until 2006, where another inflection point occurs, this time trending downwardly. There's yet another inflection point in 2007, when the attacks increased to their highest point to date in 2008, reaching 146 successful attacks. The last inflection point occurs from 2008 to 2009, when successful attacks on higher education takes a steep downward turn from 146 attacks to only 86 attacks. This graph shows the type of data targeted in attacks on higher education from 2000 to 2009. The most commonly targeted type of data was Social Security numbers. This is because Social Security numbers are one-stop shopping for criminals. The next most common was names and addresses, which was only slightly less than Social Security numbers. These two types combined to make up over 85% of the data targeted. Other types include date of birth, medical and financial information, account information, credit card numbers, email addresses, and other miscellaneous data. An important factor when trying to defend against anything is knowing what you are up against. This graph depicts the source of attacks on higher education, according to datalostdb.org. The most common attacks, as you may guess, are from sources that lie outside of the targeted institution. These are the normal hackers that typically probe and attack system vulnerabilities. The next two most common come from the sources inside of the institution, both accidental and malicious. However, accidental incidents from within account for almost 5 times as many as malicious attacks from within. This pie chart shows the percentages of the different breaches categorized by type. The most frequent is simply stolen laptops, which account for roughly 20% of breaches. This clip shows just how easy it can be to steal a laptop. The next most common type of breach is general hacking, coming in at 16%. General web incidents, such as a professor accidentally posting sensitive information on the internet, make up 13% of these attacks. Fraud and social engineering comprise about 8% of breaches. However, physical theft or improper disposal of sensitive information accounts for roughly 55% of all breaches. This includes stolen hardware such as laptops or desktops, failing to properly dispose of documents or hard drives, loss or theft of tapes, documents, drives, and more. Based on these statistics, it becomes clear that universities need to implement policies to safeguard against physical threats as well as system vulnerabilities. This is a list of some of the major laws universities need to comply with in order to properly obtain, store, and use information that could potentially harm one's identity if compromised. Physical safeguards are just as important, if not more important, than system safeguards. Universities generally implement things such as locks for computers and the doors that house them, ID access controls, and video surveillance of computer labs. Almost all universities will need to implement antivirus software, firewalls, VPNs, and varying user privileges to properly protect against attacks and wetware. The following will highlight some of the attacks that have had the most impact at major universities. In 2008, tapes were stolen from the University of Miami, which contained over 2.1 million patients' social security numbers, names, addresses, and more. This was the most data ever stolen from a university. In 2006, UCLA's database was breached by a hacker who made off with about 800,000 people's names, addresses, and social security numbers. In 2007, a professor at Penn State published over 10,000 Marine social security numbers to his website, which was accessible via Google. These attacks show why there is a need to predict future trends in order to get a step ahead of the bad guys. A clue detection engine is one of the best ways to do this.
One of the main areas of research that should be focused on determining future trends of cybersecurity should be on legislation, which provides a strong indicator of the importance of increased spending in cybersecurity. The following 4 bills are currently awaiting further action before the summer of 2010 rolls around and more attention is placed on getting reelected than on lawmaking. The first is the Cybersecurity Enhancement Act of 2010. Second is the Cybersecurity Act of 2010. Third is the International Cybercrime Reporting and Cooperation Act. And fourth is the Fostering a Global Response to Cyber Attacks Act. Government spending is also another indicator of the importance of cybersecurity across institutions. Obama proposed $712 million budget for 2011, a 34% increase from the 2010 for the National Institute of Science and Technology to focus on energy technology, biomanufacturing, and cybersecurity. However, many of the numbers of the budget proposed specifically cybersecurity are confidential. The administration proposed an increase from $355 million to $364 million for the National Cybersecurity Division from 2010 to 2011. And finally, research on our own educational institutions will be key in determining future trends and problems.
Should be a part of the ranking.
The work underway at Penn State has gained national and international attention among top government, corporate, and private entities concerned with information security, including the FBI, under Director Robert Mueller.
It's a win-win situation for us to do for both society and the Pennsylvania State University. We train these people who then go out and participate in society and help do the sort of things that makes society better.
As president of Penn State, I'm very pleased with the progress that we're making and the opportunities that lie ahead.